Hi everybody, this is just a little video for the group. I know there's only a few of you at the moment, but I know that a couple of you have been struggling, especially recently, with different issues, so I thought I'd do a little video rather than an essay for the group, just so that you could see and hear the sorts of things that you can do to kind of help yourself and help your partner, and to help your mental state as well. It does take a very long time to come to terms with, especially if you're at the stage of your pregnancy where you don't have anything to bury, you don't have anything to say goodbye to. So it can be very hard to not only grieve, but to be able to say goodbye to something that you felt but yet was never with you. So there are lots of little ways in which you can do that. You can heal, you can find yourself again. A lot of it is down to, I think, supporting each other. Mental health is a huge one, because mentally it's absolutely destructive. You don't realise until you actually go through it quite what impact it'll have, whatever stage you're at. You know, if you're at weeks, you're at months, you're at full time, you're always going to feel that pain. You're always going to feel that there's a bit of you that's missing, because there is a bit of you died one day and you can't get that back. But on the positive side, there are things you can do which will help you. Of course, people around you, people that really care about you genuinely, you know, people that are going to be there for you and aren't going to judge if you just need to talk or cry, or if you're just waffling like I tend to do, quite frankly. Then turn to them, trust them, you know, keep your circle close. You don't need to tell everybody everything, but if you've got family and you've got close friends, you've got husband or partner or wife, partner, then turn to them, talk to them, because they're probably feeling the same things as you. It's just that they don't know how to talk to you because you don't know how to talk to them. So always, always, always communicate. It's the biggest thing. If you can't talk, you've got not a lot, really, you know. So always try and talk, always try and connect to each other. That's really, really important. Obviously, the big one is counselling. Counselling can really, really help. If you can find somebody who is understanding, somebody that's fairly relaxed, somebody that's fairly, well, open-minded, somebody that you can feel comfortable around, somebody that makes you feel safe, kind of like a professional friend in a way. If you can find a person where you can just be, and you can talk honestly and openly with that person, whether it's for you or you and your partner, it's always really good. Like every week or every couple of weeks, depending on where your head is at, it's really, really good to do couples counselling as well, because you'll find that your other half or your partner will be feeling things you didn't know about. You know, you'll find things out about each other when you were going through your miscarriage that you didn't know before. So it's a really good way to reconnect you and to bring you close again, and to kind of help you understand what you've been through, basically, just to help you work out where you want to go, what direction you want to go in next. Another really good thing is a memory box. You can do one of your own, which is what we've done. We put our scans, the bits of clothing and booties and letters that we did, all in one box, put it away, so that every year, maybe, if we can manage it, every year, every anniversary, we'll go back over it, we'll go through the stuff, and we'll kind of remind ourselves of, you know, where we were, and we'll remember. We'll just spend some time remembering, because that's all you can do. You can get memory boxes from, you can get some memory boxes from your counsellor as well, which is really, really good. I will unbox that for you in a moment so you can see what it's all about. The other thing you can do, you can write a letter. You can write a letter to yourself, to your partner. You can write it to your baby that never was. I found that really helpful. The first thing I did was write a letter to the baby that we lost. I wasn't able to read it for a year, I think it was. Wasn't able to go over the letter for about a year. I wrote it all down. I don't remember half of the things I wrote now, to be honest with you. I wrote it in such a upset place that I just wrote and wrote and wrote, and it all just poured out, and it really helped at the time. It was just before Christmas, and I'd kind of pushed it to the back of my mind. I wouldn't say I'd forgotten it, but I pushed it to one side. On the due date, we went up to the Hoe and we went to Devil's Point and we sat by the sea for a little while. and we read over the letter. We took it up with us, we went over it, we took the scan pictures, we looked over the ones we got. We got the very first one at 4 weeks, and then we got another one at about 6 or 7, I think it was. So we had 2 separate scans that we never got rid of. Probably will never get rid of them now. How could you? So yeah, so I've kept the scans and letter together, and then every year with the memory box, I'll go back to it, and I'll have a look, and I'll just kind of remind myself of what we had for a little while, and rather than thinking it's all gone, I try and think of it like what we had for a bit, because it was pretty awesome for a bit. Some of the other things is find a safe place, like I was saying about Devil's Point in the Hoe here in Plymouth in Devon. The Hoe's really, really good because you're by the sea, you've got plenty of beaches, you've got plenty of places to walk, you've got the grass, you've got the lighthouse, so there's plenty of places just to roam around. The only downside is you'll find it's really, really busy, so you won't get total peace all of the time. Whereas I find places like Devil's Point, there are places there where you can disappear off at certain times of the day where other people won't be there. You won't get disturbed, you won't get bothered by them. You can just kind of do your own thing in your own head for as long as you need to or want to, really. You can go for a walk if you need to as well. There's plenty to wander about up there, so it's a very, very peaceful place for anybody that likes being by the sea, really. So if you find the sea and beaches and that kind of thing to be very grounding and very helpful, then you can nip up there any time. It's really, really close. It's only outside the town centre. So yeah, I'd recommend doing that. It's helped me so much. It's given me so much grounding and perspective on everything that's been going on recently in my life. Probably the last year, one thing and another, it's been the one place that I've been able to go and get total peace and clarity without being, bothered, for want of a better term. So you want to find somewhere that's peaceful, you want to find somewhere that makes you feel calm, you want to find somewhere where you feel you've got roots and your feet are on the ground, that kind of thing. So anywhere where you just feel safe is a really good place to go on a regular basis, even if it's just once a week. Go to that place and you'll start to feel clarity. Probably, it might take some time, but it really, really helps. So do that if you can. Another thing that's really good is music. Everybody says music, but putting together a little playlist for you and your partner, or even some songs that remind you of what you've been through, or some of the songs that you wanted you wanted to teach your little one that was going to be. That's all really good to do. Put it into a playlist. You can find all sorts on YouTube as well. So you can find acoustic, you can find different versions, you can find covers, you can find originals. So just put together some music in some playlists. Find a quiet spot again. Go for a nice walk. Lay out and close your eyes, whatever it takes to help you feel the music, really. Just put together a playlist that means something to you, and when you're ready, you'll be able to listen to it and you'll be able to remember. The pain isn't going to go away for a really long time, if at all, but if you can spend that time remembering, you'll find that you do start to heal a little bit. So if you can just focus on that music, that can really, really help sometimes. It's really, really good, really therapeutic, which is another thing that I do, especially when I'm up by the sea. It's the perfect thing. The other thing is there are lots of events locally usually. In Plymouth, there's something at the end of the year where you can all gather together. Everybody that's been through something similar can gather. At Derriford, I think it is, Memorial Gardens, and you'll all gather together, you'll all light a candle, or say a few words if you want to, talk, and kind of see what everybody else has been through, that kind of thing. It's a really good way to face, for want of a better term, to face what you've been through and to know that there are other people out there like you. You're not alone as much as you feel like you might be sometimes. There are other people out there like you who have been through it on some level and do understand and can talk to you and won't just turn their back on you and run scared, because they know what it's like, so they'll be there to listen to you. So that's a really good way of healing and kind of accepting, maybe further down the line, probably not right away, but much further down the line, maybe a year or so, you'll start to feel like you can talk about it and you can be around others and help others as well. Like with our group, the whole point of our group is to help each other and support each other. So have a look for local events and see if there's anything you can do. If you're not up for events, then you can just light a candle for yourself. You don't have to do anything with other people if you don't want to. If that's not your thing. You can light a candle every now and then or every night if you want. You could plant something in the garden or up front, or you could grow a little rose bush or something. So as you grow and your family starts to grow again, if that's what you choose, then the plant or the rose or the flower, whatever it is you plant, will grow with you. And so you'll always have that close by, you'll always have that sense of peace that that little part of you is always there, which is really sweet, I think, really nice. So just section off a bit of your garden, or your favourite flower of the time or something like that, and that will remind you, yeah, but reminders aren't always that bad. Reminders can be a really good thing sometimes. It's just how we think about it in our heads. So that's really, really good. Anything, if you're more of a lone wolf kind of person, kind of a bit more like I am, if you prefer to be on your own while you're dealing with issues, and if you prefer to be on your own when you're hurting and struggling, if you need time away from your partner, you can write, you can do a journal or a diary, you can go on long walks, you can do readings, poetry, that kind of thing is really, really good for peace. You can do things like gym and exercise, but that's probably something you want to look at later down the line as well, because the amount of people that will be around you will be quite, it'll set off anxiety you didn't know you had, basically. That's essentially what I found. So if you didn't have anxiety before, it might set something off in you where you're not actually ready to be in that place as much as you might want to be. So just something to think about. But yeah, so gym, walks, reading, jogging, yoga, at-home yoga is really good. Anything that just calms you and gives you peace and just gives your mind that clarity will really, really help. So essentially, for me it was finding peace, finding clarity, getting perspective, and kind of accepting it. I think the biggest thing, the hardest thing in all these months has been accepting it. So if you can get to a point when you feel you can accept it, or start talking about it, then there's your first step. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully there's